This is Poetry for Warriors Daily, your daily dose of Poetry for Warriors. And here's your host, Joshua David Ling.
9. To catch a werewolf. Paddy grabbed a cricket bat from off the wall at the pub. Jay-Sean grabbed himself one too, to use as a sort of club. The werewolf man was almost upon her. Zoe trembled and backed away. Now there was no time to wait for Kumina. They had to fight this day. Jay-Sean said a little prayer. Then they dashed out at the beast. Paddy swung at the beast's knees and took him off his feet. Zoe screamed and turned and ran. The beast caught Jay-Sean's bat. He splintered it within his grip and roared on top of that. Jay-Sean and Paddy took a step or two back, but Paddy barked in his face. "Back down, Ted! I know you're in there! Get back to the safe place!" Ted's roar turned to a guttural growl, and Paddy pushed forward toward him. "Ted, I am not letting you do this! Do you hear me? Are you within?" Ted backed up into a corner, his werewolf form unsure. Paddy reached out to touch him, but he swatted at her more. Then from atop a nearby wall, in the alley they had led him to, they heard a song in Irish Gaelic sung by a voice that was solemn and blue. Jay-Sean looked up and saw Zoe, or Ziona, as she said her name was. She was singing to the beast below, and he whined and raked his claws against the brick of the wall that separated him from his pale white prey. But Ted Hallett, in werewolf form, would not get her this day. An arrow from Kumina's bow flew down the alley and hit Ted's backside and penetrated deep, and the beast began to quit. Ted turned back into a man naked in that alleyway. Paddy pulled the arrow right out. "Are you sure that's the way? He still has healing powers going, up to an hour after he's changed. If I left that arrow in his rear seat, he'd need to rearrange." That still doesn't really explain how he fell asleep like that. Kumina came down the alleyway, swaggering like a cat. "You sure waited long enough. I had to find my bow. It's very seldom I get to use it now. Come on, pick him up and let's go." "I don't like this, guys. What if his sleepiness is a trick?" "It isn't, numbskull. I did it. The secret's in my spit." "Say what?" Jay-Sean exclaimed in shock. "Are you telling me you got venom?" "It won't kill you, but it'll make you sleep. We need to get him some denim." Jay-Sean turned and looked up the wall. Zoe was still standing there. She smiled and quietly stared at them all, her gratitude expressed with a glare. "Why don't you come down and join us, Zoe? Maybe it's time you had some fun." I'll treat you all to a pint." "A pint? Let me show you how it's done." They all laughed, and Zoe climbed down the wall, and they all went to get Ted's clothes. And soon enough they ended up at the Handsome Hog to celebrate and drown their woes.
This has been Poetry for Warriors Daily. For more, visit joshuadavidling.com.